You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. I'm Sneha. With me as always is Ankita Saxena, and doesn't seem to be a very good afternoon for the market because we've seen a steep cut coming in on the Nifty right now. We've slipped below the 23,200 levels. It's a 123 point drop from the day's highest point. We had managed to cross the 23,230, 240, in fact 250 levels also at one point. We were facing resistance around the 250 mark, but we have slipped below 23,200. Not looking very good for the Nifty right now. You have Sensex also rather flat. Nifty Bank also split in the red, Ankita.
Absolutely. In fact, we have given up all the morning gains. All the gains that we had made, it's completely reversed. In fact, we are trading at the day's lowest point as far as Nifty is concerned. A fall of 123 points on the Nifty. Nifty Bank also, we have given up all the morning gains. In fact, there's sharper cuts coming in Nifty Bank. 57 points that we are down from the day's highest point in Nifty Bank. Here also Nifty Bank is clearly underperforming right now. The broader markets also that were outperforming the benchmark indices have also tempered bit. They have also given up their morning gains. Mid cap and small cap, both they're still in the green, trading with gains of 0.3% and perhaps 0.4%. But nonetheless, the kind of gains that we saw in the morning, that has been given up. In fact, in the market right now, you can see there is a sell on every rise is what we're witnessing in the market right now. But a couple of other things, if you talk about the sectors, the energy sector is really in focus. The real estate pack is doing very well. As far as the energy sector is concerned, the mid-cap names like Indus Tower, Persistent, Indian Hotels, Vodafone Idea, they're all trading with gains of 4% from the mid-cap space. And look at the energy sector also, that was also perked up in trade, has tempered for now, but all the constituents were in the green. Inox Wind was up 4%, Power Grid, BHEL, NTPC, they were all trading with gains of 3+%. The realty pack also doing very well for itself. Phoenix, Raymond, Shobha, they're all trading with gains of, in fact, Phoenix is up 5.5%, Raymond is up 3%, and Shobha is also trading with gains of 1.5%. So sectorally, realty and energy are really leading from the front. Some of the individual stock movers, we have a couple of brokerage notes. BSE is firing away in trade on the back of that Nuvama's buy call coming in on BSE. So, there are a couple of other names that are buzzing in trade. But for that, let's get started with all the stocks that are in focus today and why, Snehi?
Lots of stocks to watch out for. The next 30 minutes is going to focus just on that. To get you a technical lowdown on some of these stocks as well, let's welcome on board Sneha Seth, Senior Analyst at Angel One. Sneha, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. From our research team, we have Gaurav joining us once again. Good afternoon to both of you. Let me kickstart the show by talking about a high flyer in today's trade, and that is Devyani International. The stock has been doing pretty well. Initially, on the back of a Macquarie note, the stock did see some momentum. But last a couple of hours, the stock has surged 8.5%. It was as high as 10% at one point. But the market sell-off seems to be getting to this stock also. But nonetheless, very solid gains of 8.5% coming in, wherein Macquarie has initiated an outperform rating at a target price of 230 rupees per share. They say that they see healthy EBITDA growth for Devyani, the largest Yum India franchisee, and in KFC, given favorable geographies and competitive position in the chicken space. Pizza Hut may take longer for turnaround. However, they see upside possibilities in other brands, the likes of Costa Coffee, Wango, and other brands that Devyani owns and operates. They've initiated an outperform rating given the near average EV to EBITDA valuation and their outlook for a high teen EBITDA CAGR in Thailand over the medium term. They say that Devyani International is the top pick in the QSR space, followed by Westlife, Sapphire, and Jubilant Foodworks. For Sapphire also, they've initiated an outperform with a target price of 390. However, they're flagging off some key risks for Devyani, the likes of sharp rise in royalty rates that it needs to pay, increasing competitive intensity from peers, and lastly, a brand boycott call linked to any geographical issues that could harm the same-store sales growth, the SSSG. So that's the lowdown coming in from Macquarie. Initiated an outperform target of 230 rupees per share. That stock holding up very smartly today.
All right, moving on from that space, we'll get you on board now, Sneha. Persistent system is what you've picked out for us. Now, this has been on a radar of a couple of techies from the IT pack. This one has done well, but in the last 1 month, it has been a bit of a consolidation that I can see on the charts. From here, do you see an up move coming in? Just today, it has like up almost 4% in trade today.
See, if you look at the chart structure, seeing the overall counters, wherein we are counters, hitting all the key moving averages and going down. This counter has been standing still strong. If you look at the daily chart, it has been respecting 89 EMA on the daily chart. From there onwards only we are seeing some buying interest in today's session. However, I would say that on the higher side, any move above 6,250 would be very interesting. So in case of any bounce beyond this, that would be very interesting. And again, this counter can head towards the recent highs of 6,600, 6,650 zone would be possible. So if anyone wants to go and long, or someone who's already holding this counter, I think can keep a strict stop loss near yesterday's low, that is placed around 5,850, and can hold the long position.
All right, that's persistent system on the charts. But we'll move on to IRFC. This counter has been focused since morning. In fact, it ticked up in the morning, but has been in a downward slide since morning. Has succumbed to selling pressure. The company has been selected as the lowest bidder for a 3,167 crore worth of Bandhan coal block project in Later district of Jharkhand, and the project is being developed by Patratu Vidyut Utpadan Nigam, that's a joint venture between NTPC, that holds 74% stake in Jharkhand, Bijli Vitran Nigam, that holds 26% stake in that. Despite the big order win coming in from IRFC, it has succumbed to its selling pressure, currently trading at the day's lowest point.
Absolutely flat is where IRFC is, despite such a significant order win coming in. That's the extent of the market sell-off that we're seeing right now. But Sneha, coming to you, Indian Hotels is something that you've picked out on the charts, whereas the stock is up about 4% as we speak. Last 6 months, last 1 year, a good momentum coming in for this stock. What's the outlook going ahead?
If you look at the overall chart structure, it has been going very good. In fact, this counter has continuously been respecting all the key moving averages. On the daily chart, this counter has corrected recent now, and at this point in time, I believe it has been taking support near the 89 EMA, and it's been second session that we are seeing recent short covering followed by some long positions in this counter. I believe this counter can head towards 825, 830 zone. So I would suggest if someone is holding a long position, may continue to hold. One can keep a strict stop loss around today's low, that is around 786, can be maintained as a stop loss. Once we see an up move at least towards 850, then the possibility of counter, heading towards the record highs would be very much in line. So I believe anyone holding this position, holding a fresh long, or someone who's holding it on a positional basis, may continue to hold this counter.
All right, moving on from Indian Hotels on the chart to a counter that's doing pretty well in this market, and that's Maruti Suzuki. That's up 1.5% in trade on the back of a brokerage note, the brokerage notes rather, that have come out. Gaurav, take us through the notes.
Well, yes, there are two brokerages which are being bullish on Maruti Suzuki. Now, first, let's talk about Bank of America. They have upgraded the rating to buy, and they have also given a target price of 14,000 rupees. What they say is that it is actually only OEM company with ICE vehicle launch cycle in CY25 versus the other peers who are currently focusing on EV vehicles. At the same time, Maruti Suzuki is also focusing on their EV journey with the e-Vitara's launch, which is a new SUV. Other than that, Toyota's alliance is also going to be a successful story for Maruti, which will also help them to exports. Toyota and total exports are going to be around 20% of the total volumes. And when we talk about valuation, they look fairly valued at the current price of 22 times price to equity. Other than that, IIFL Securities is also being bullish on the counter. It is actually a top pick for them in 2025 with a target price of 13,800 rupees, because what they're saying is that Maruti Suzuki is currently trading at around 10% discount to other OEMs, and that is the reason why they are being bullish about the company's prospects and the share price. So definitely on the back of these notes, we are already seeing an uptick coming up in the share price as well. On back of these notes, we will also be watching out on what happens in Maruti Suzuki in coming days.
Okay, thanks Gaurav for taking us through why Maruti Suzuki is in the fast lane today. 1.5% uptick on that stock on the back of two brokerage notes. From that, we'll slip into a very short break on Market Fatafat and keep it going with all the big buzzers in today's trade on the other side of the short break. Hi there, welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's talk about another high flyer in today's trade, and that is BSE Limited. This stock has been doing wonderfully, not only today, over the last couple of days, because we have seen back-to-back bullish brokerage notes coming in, and today it's Novama that's initiated a coverage on this note, on this stock, with a buy rating and the target price of 6,730 rupees per share. They believe that even after building in the hit from the regulatory changes, this company shall turn into an FY24 to FY27 revenue PAT CAGR of almost almost 40% to 71%, lifting its ROE to 38% almost. There is immense scope to grow the customer base, which is merely at a 1.5 to 2 million currently. They also say that higher contract sizes shall reduce clearing charges, thereby lifting the EBITDA margin. And for the longer term, the diverse revenue streams will amplify growth, and the Star MF revenue will also be growing at 31% CAGR over FY24 to FY27. They see improved revenue from the Asia Index Private Limited and co-location facility, and they also see higher margins as higher contract sizes that will reduce clearing charges. They estimate the CAGR over FY24 to 27 of 40%, that's 70%. Yesterday, we also had a Jefferies note coming in that upgraded the stock to a whole target price of 5,250 rupees per share. Back-to-back bullish brokerage notes, the stock is doing very well every day, and today also up 5.5% as we speak.
All right, that's BSE in focus, and yes, it is perked up in trade. It has been doing pretty well. But moving on to another counter that is in focus today on the back of new launches, and that's Hero Moto, which has launched new Destiny 125 and 3 variants, and that's starting at rupees 80,450 rupees ex-showroom price in Delhi for now. But they will be, launching it pan-India as well. But on the back of that, Hero Moto also succumbing to the market pressure is trading at the day's lowest point right now, has given up those morning gains, trading flat, but nonetheless at the day's lowest point as of now.
Okay, that's the update on Hero Moto, but not going in the direction of the positive news flow. Let's move on. And Sneha, you've picked out Vedanta for us on the charts. Now, we have been hearing a lot about this stock when it comes to the technicals. It is an analyst favorite, and it's a perpetual analyst favorite. Tell us what's the view coming in on Vedanta, because last 6 months stock has not done anything at all, slightly under pressure. Last 1 year, however, has been a good rally for the stock. Tell us what levels you're spotting going ahead.
If we look at the chart structure for Vedanta, I believe on the lower side, 428, 430, that zone on the lower side was acting as a support. On the higher side, the counter had a resistance around 520. So it has been more than 6 months that this counter has been trading in this range. However, if you look at the overall chart structure in the daily time frame, we have seen this counter testing the 200-day simple moving average, but after that, yesterday's move was quite interesting. So I believe unless and until it is respecting yesterday's low, I think someone who's holding a long position may continue to ride the up move at least towards 470 is the level one can expect, and one can keep a strict stop loss around 412.
All right, that's Vedanta on the charts. But moving on from that to SBI, Gaurav, you picked out SBI for us. Again, a brokerage note candidate. Tell us, what does the brokerage note say?
Yes. Now, Motilal Oswal is being a little bullish on SBI. When we talk about the entire banking segment, we've already seen some kind of pressure for the past few days. But now that the pressure is easing up, brokerages are being bullish on these counters. So for Motilal Oswal, they have given a target price of 950 rupees for SBI with preferred buy as their top pick for SBI. What they're saying is that SBI has been delivering all-round performance ever since. Balance sheet has been strong. ROA can sustain at around 1.1% level. And when we talk about the balance sheet, it has already compounded at a healthy rate over the past few years. So it also tells us about the track record for SBI. The company is also well positioned to deliver around 12 to 13% loan growth according to Motilal Oswal. And at the same time, when we talk about CD ratio, that is at 68%, which is again at a healthy rate. And that is the reason why deposit growth will not be a constraint for SBI. Now, given that results are on the way, and with this, Motilal is being a little bullish on SBI. Now the stock performance also, it is up almost by 1%. And on back of this, we will be watching out on SBI.
Okay, that's the reason why SBI is in focus. Let's address the flash on the bottom of the screen. A 33.2 lakh block deal coming in on Axis Bank right now. That stock is slightly tanking away in trade. Remember, tomorrow Axis Bank reports its Q3 earnings. So before that, we've seen a block deal. The buyers and sellers, the details, of course, we'll be getting post-market hours today. We've also seen the flash where the rupee has slightly strengthened against the dollar. So that's looking good, and we can expect some amount of market recovery on that front. But while Nifty not doing much, still flattish, but above the 23,150 mark for now. Rupee looking slightly okay versus the dollar right now. But let's move on then. And Sneha, you've picked out Asian Paints for us on the charts. Tell us what the outlook is, because fundamentally these paint stocks seem to be in a lot of trouble on the back of the crude prices going up. You have competition heating up. Technically, tell us what's the outlook on the charts.
See, the overall chart structure looks weak over here. If you look at the stock, it has given a strong move. After that, this counter was consolidating. If you see, since August 21, in fact, that zone from till November of 2024, We have seen this counter trading in a very, in a tight range of 2,650 on the lower side, on the highest side. It was having a resist. It always it used to go up towards 3,550 odd zone, and there we have been seeing decent selling pressure. And now after November selling, I believe this counter on the monthly chart has also corrected below the 200-day simple moving average, or on the 89 EMA on the monthly chart. So I believe, looking at the overall chart structure and the selling pressure, in fact in the options activity also we are seeing decent writing in the call options. So looking at overall thing, I believe this counter may continue to correct, and if someone wants to go ahead and sell this counter, can even look for buying put options. And if in future segment, if we are seeing, one can keep a strict stop loss around 2,300 and go short here for the target of 2,000, 2,050.
All right, with that, we're completely out of time on this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you so much, Sneha and Gaurav, for joining us. We'll let you go on that note. But with that, it's a wrap up in this edition of Market Fatafat. Sneha and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.